All right, I'm officially recording. Welcome, you guys, to the Ask Me Anything. It's 11:11. This is a good sign, right? I think that's a positive angel number. So, Nancy, how can I help you?
Well, I have been to you had the weekend, I don't know,
Yes.
the legal basics boot camp. I don't
Yes,
remember, the website protection.
yes, exactly.
And then you had the second one. And I will have to admit, I wasn't available for the first one and I still haven't watched the replay of it.
Okay.
It was available for the second one. So maybe
Ah,
some of the answers are in the first one. So if they are, you can just say so.
no worries.
I'm looking for, what I want to do is I've pivoted business to business.
Oh,
I've,
okay. Because remind me what you do.
well, I've been doing a coaching for women
Okay.
entrepreneurs, just really about anything, which,
Okay.
depending on kind of where they are, it's
Yeah.
really where they are and what they're trying to do.
Yep.
Um, but my superpower really is operations and productivity, efficiency.
Oh,
That's
nice.
really what I do,
Wow,
like
so I need you in my business.
so I kind of do that kind of stuff in my sleep. However, most of it uh, while can do online, what I've done in my history is
Hmm.
call centers and
Oh,
support centers, and down to physical, like repair centers and so on. So I increased their bottom line. I don't sales is really not my thing. It really should be. I need more of that
yeah.
self personally. So what I'm looking at really is how to best put the contracts together.
Hmm.
I feel when you're working one-on-one with a person,
Yeah.
very different than if you're going to a business, in my opinion.
Yes.
A lot of different people that are involved. uh,
Yes.
there's I don't know, and maybe it's just me, but I feel like I need way more protection.
Oh, yeah, working one on one.
Well, I think working on one-on-one is easier. I think I need way more protection from a contractual standpoint if I go to a company, if
A
I do business.
company.
So if
Yeah.
I go to I'm in San Diego. So if I were to go to a company here in San Diego and I were to go with the COVID, kind of put a spin on things, because this is really where I was going, where I physically go on site,
Yeah.
because I can really quickly find the low hanging fruit and
Yeah.
get them some improvements and some profits
Got
quickly.
it. Yeah.
What I want to do is grow that, obviously, right? But in the beginning, what I want to do is say, this is what I'm going to do. But in order for me to do what I'm going to do, they also, my mic's in the,
I was like, we got a visitor.
that's my,
That was funny.
isn't it? Like, oh. Um, so there are things that they need to do. So if I were to come, I'll try to short this up, sorry.
No, that's all right. We don't have anybody else waiting on you, so you're fine.
So, when I come in and I say I could do X, Y, and Z, or even if I could, I mean, I've even thought about giving a guarantee, like I can guarantee you X%
Mhm.
if you qualify. And the
Yeah.
qualification would be me going in and looking at it and seeing, and
Doing an
I'm,
assessment.
no,
Yeah.
you know, but but once you go in and do that, there's things they're going to need to do too, right? So it's a two-sided. It's not like I can just go magically make things happen. I can certainly see things, and
Yeah.
I can do it practically in my sleep. And it took me a long time to figure out that other people don't see things the way I see them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So just so I'm clear, because I know you're working from the context of having the website protection package in place and then the JV and affiliate ready upgrade.
Right.
So just so you're clear on what's included, the website protection package is going to cover your basically online business and platform wherever your stuff is, right? So if you go through that documentation is really about protecting what you publish, what you put out through your website, any content that you create. It's about protecting you as you collect data and build a database, right? So that's the privacy policy.
Right.
That's one of the riskiest areas. And then, anything that you sell through an online funnel, you've got terms of purchase for there. And
Mm-hmm.
those terms of purchase are going to cover they really can cover a variety of things. They're generally designed and they're a best fit for courses, digital downloads, automated programs, if you've got courses or content that lives like in a membership site, that kind of thing, right? But people can use them to sell other things. If you sell into live coaching, if you sell into group programs, right? They can cover that as well. It just works a little bit differently, and it really largely depends on your sales process. And so one of the things you want to think about, and the question I'd have, especially for you as you pivot, if you're pivoting away from kind of coaching the one-on-one entrepreneurs to businesses focusing on operations and productivity, right? It sounds like you're kind of an efficiency, like you can spot inefficiencies really quickly.
Right.
That yes, you would probably benefit. So, and I can send you the link. I've got a template that is for consulting services. It's a consulting services agreement. That would be a better fit for a corporate client, right? For that kind of an arrangement. Now, if you're continuing to do coaching with entrepreneurs, I've also got a coaching agreement. Looks a little bit different than the consulting agreement, right? But they're very similar. They're actually very similar. It's just that coaching is generally delivered one-on-one to an individual consumer, whereas consulting is essentially delivered to a company, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So my instinct is that you would benefit, especially if you're making this pivot, you'd benefit from that consulting services agreement template, and that your website protection package is still going to protect your online presence for any of the work that you're doing right now.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
That definitely makes sense. And I know you don't do insurance, but I have, I found it really interesting. Is there anybody else on here?
I don't see anybody else on here. It is being recorded, but I don't see anybody else with us.
And I just time. That's all.
No worries.
Because I do have insurance, but I'd really so here's the request. If you are aware of anyone who would be really good to talk to about what I really would need to have in place, because one of the things that I'm going to be, one of the things I'm considering offering is a guarantee.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about guarantees for a moment, because you can have a guarantee that looks something like this. And usually I would relate it to a guarantee about the value of your services, so that at most anything that you have to lose would actually be anything that the client has paid. I always want your liability to be limited, right, to what a client has paid you,
right,
versus
exactly.
some guarantee on return that goes above and beyond that. That would just put you in too risky of a spot.
Right. Agree. And that's part of what I wanted. That's part of the the actual contract.
Yeah.
As well as, I want to make sure from an insurance perspective, because when I first took it on, I found it interesting that I had a lot of entrepreneurs who said, well, why do you have insurance? And I'm like, why would you not have insurance? So I was a little surprised by that, the amount of people who don't carry any insurance, because I was doing and I was having people while I was at another facility anyway. So when I talked to them, they asked, are you kind of, what are you doing? And at that point, I was not doing consulting, but there was kind of an implied comment there that if you're going to do consulting with a business, that it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, for sure. And really, I would say that anybody in the coaching consulting space should look into insurance. I've got, I can send you in an email a referral to a national company. Most insurance is state regulated. So generally when it comes to insurance, what I recommend is that you find somebody a few steps ahead of you in business that has a really going legitimate business, and you ask them who their insurance provider is. Ideally, you would connect with an insurance broker, not an insurance agent that's attached to a specific provider, right? So not State Farm, not Allstate, not one of those. You'd actually get an independent broker in the marketplace, because they're going to be able to scan everything and say, oh, based on your business, based on what you're doing, here's what you need, and here's what's most competitive currently. right? Versus an insurance agent that's attached to a specific provider. They're limited by what that company provides.
Right. Right.
So if you know anybody else in the consulting, world, and I could ask around for you, but I do have a national referral because a coach who was a former client of mine had gotten, and sometimes coaches can have a hard time finding insurance. Like it's easier now, but it used to be that they were like, coaching, like what is this business, right? People just didn't understand it in the insurance world.
That was the issue I was running into. They're like, well, you're doing this? No, I'm not doing that. You're doing that? No.
Right. Right.
A little, yeah.
Yeah, so she had actually found coverage through this agency that's a national agency, and she was quite happy with it. And so I've used that company several times when people ask or if they don't have an insurance provider already.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because a person that I asked was farther ahead of me.
Yeah. Oh, got it. And they didn't have anything?
No. And
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, keep asking, and then the other thing is I'll provide you with that referral, and then I can ask my network as well and see if anybody in California has an insurance broker that they love.
Okay, and just to back up,
I think I lost my audio. Give me 1 second. I just plugged in my Blue Yeti microphone. Let's see if I can hear you. Already there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I've got a limited number of whatever plugins on the back of this, and I was doing a bunch of photo work over the weekend, and so I had to plug in like all my photo drives.
Right.
So my Blue Yeti wasn't plugged in, but I was like, oh, I'm recording this. I should probably care about my audio quality.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
A little juggling myself occasionally.
I know. Well, this is a big iMac, but it's only got 4 ports, and I always have a backup drive attached. And then I have this little light because I'm down here in a room without windows. And so, and then and then my keyboard has to attach into one of them. So there we go. There's 3.
I've got a I don't know what you call it, a thing that attaches that has 4 more.
Oh, got it. Like, okay. Well, I wondered, I was thinking about the other day, I was like, yeah, like a splitter or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but it gives you additional ports.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I probably need to get one of those. Nancy, are you in the Facebook group?
Yes.
Okay, got it. I'm just going to jump in and tag you on the post that has the recording of the website protection package so that you don't miss it. I've had a couple other people say, I can't find it. And I don't know if they just didn't scroll all the way down through the group.
I found it once.
Found it? Okay.
I'm like, okay. But I didn't have time to go through.
No worries. I'll just go tag you again so that you can see it.
Because that's on my list this week to get through that. I didn't want to, not purchase it because I just find it really interesting how people just don't pay. I mean, I've always had a privacy policy and, those things now, is it perfect? Probably not.
Yeah.
But,
well, yeah, people don't think about it until they get in trouble or until something happens, which is just really unfortunate. But that's why I tell people, like, being online is the Wild West of business. People really treat it, like the Wild West. And my goal is that we get folks out of the camp that just are winging it and don't know what they're up against to, getting in the more informed camp. It's not that hard.
Right.
Right.
So just to back up a little bit, your template that you have, is that on your website for me to?
Oh yeah, the consulting. Let me just pop over. I'll grab that for you. I can pop it in the chat for you if you want to grab it. But basically, I have bundles. The way that I've offered my services is I've got bundles, and then I've got individual templates as well that I've broken out. So the bundles are where you get the most value. So for example, the bundles that would include
the consulting services agreement also has the coaching agreement. It also has a speaker agreement. It's got an interview release form for people that are running workshops or retreats. It's got those agreements. It covers basically all the work that people do in the consulting and coaching space. And there's a lot in there. So I'm going to grab first the bundles page for you, but the bundles are the way that I tried to deliver the most value at a bundled price, a lower price than if you were to get everything individually.
Right.
I wanted them to really work well for people, like right out of the gate, to have documents that are pre-tailored to their niche of business. And that's not saying they're perfect, because everybody's business, is a little different, but I have worked with a lot of people in this space. And so I generally, I'm pretty cognizant of what issues come up and, what people face. But the working package has a ton of value in it. If you click through to the working package page, you get a list of everything that's inside of it. So it's coaching agreement, consulting agreement, a sample master services agreement, and statement of work, which some corporations require. Consulting agreement is often adequate, but some corporations like Starbucks, Microsoft, etc., they really require the big beefy ones. Workshop, event release and waiver, physical activity waiver for anybody that's doing physical activity at an event, transportation provision, a media release for people who want to do any kind of recordings at their events, whether online or in person, speaker agreement, interview release, refund or payment release, so that if they ever do have a client that they need to let out of a contract, they have a way of settling that and either releasing them from payment or providing a refund in order to settle that issue. So that's just to help people on the back end in case they have problematic clients. And then you also have some sample publishing agreements for people in the space that are also working on publishing, whether it's a small publisher working with a large publisher, sample literary agency agreements, settlement agreement, and then some bonus education and guides. So that's for somebody that really fills out that space well, and they do a variety of things. If you go, I'll click back and share the individual templates, like my other bundles, which, you've already got the website protection package stuff. The business evolution package has some additional things in it, but this is going to be for folks. You will have part of that because you got the JV ready upgrade, right? You're going to have the joint venture agreement and the affiliate agreement. The business evolution package also includes the independent contractor agreement, non-disclosure agreements, mutual non-disclosure agreement. This is for people that are sharing their IP with either potential collaborators or potential consultants coming into their business, right? So brand ambassador, social influencer agreement, referral agreement, additional website disclaimers for paid for testimonials, affiliate disclosures, and then dispute resolution guide. So this is for folks that are growing their business through third-party relationships, right?
Right.
But you're going to have some of that through just the JV, two of the documents through that JV ready upgrade, because I wanted to make those really accessible for Jay's group. But the individual templates, like if the working package, you only need a few of those things and not the full, the full bundle, then the individual templates page is here. And I've broken out, not all of my documents, but most of them can be found through the individual templates page, which is, I just popped that link into the chat. I don't tend to break out my website protection package into individual things, because if people are going to be online, they need the whole package, right? They need everything. And so people sometimes ask about that, but you've already got it, so you don't need to worry about that. But the individual templates, if you scroll down there, you can see that it has, let me just go back and open that page. It has like a variety of agreements, including the client services agreement. That would be like the standard coaching agreement. The consulting agreement is for corporations as clients, right? And then you've got a whole bunch of the other agreements broken out separately. So yeah, that's a good resource for folks that just need, a quick document. They want it tailored to what they do, but don't want to hire an attorney and work, one-on-one at those rates.
Right. So if I were just to do one, because, what had this been in January, I would have said, yeah, I want the whole package, because I was doing workshops and speaking and and I do have a probably not the best media release, attend, etc. but right now that's not going to be something,
Yeah.
be doing a lot of.
Right.
So,
Well, and for people that are, because there's a couple thoughts. One, if you know that eventually you're going to be doing that stuff, you can think about it that way. But the other
right.
thing is if you're like, you know what, really right now, all I need is the consulting agreement. And you just want to start with that. What I will tell people is if you just want to be in touch later, like if there's a point where you're like, you know what, I decided I need the whole caboodle, just come back and chat with me and we'll just figure
Right.
out the price difference and opt you into the other one.
Okay. Based on, what's in those, so you have the
Mm-hmm.
service agreement for coaches and consultants or for corporations. And here's this, I'm not going for huge businesses.
Yeah.
What I would consider, you know, Fortune 500. I mean, I've worked for Fortune 500, but I'm not going for, I'm looking for the guy who doesn't have the, the means maybe, or the need to
Mm-hmm.
have someone who's lean and Six Sigma and can come in and do and knows how to do this stuff, or has the
Mm-hmm.
ability to see it. I know people who have training in it, but
Yeah.
they don't pay for it, which is how, which is kind of how I had my aha about 10 years ago, because I did a whole bunch of work, made some huge, I mean, and to me, and I don't tell them this, but it's so easy to do because I just can see it. But the guy who had the job before me was still there. He was in manufacturing, and he came up to me, and I was standing out on the floor, and he was standing there for a few minutes and just looking, and he
Mm-hmm.
said, "How did you know how to do this?" And this guy has lean,
Yeah.
so anyway,
It's just
so
the way your brain works.
it is. And
Mm-hmm.
so what I want to do is I'm looking for companies who, have the revenue, but they
Mm-hmm.
have a whole lot more of it because they're just not effective in what they're doing, and they haven't really found all the bits and pieces. And, a lot of little things is all we did. And you made huge financial and service delivery improvements.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and if you're not working, excuse me as I try to get this drive connected, if you're
So,
not working with the really, really big companies, I would think then that the consulting services agreement would really be adequate for you.
okay.
And so I'd probably start there. If that's going to be kind of the shift that you're making and the target that you want to work with, what I tell people is protect your moneymaker. Like if you've got to stair step your legal needs, start with where your primary focus is and like how you're going to be making the most of your money, right? Or the
Right.
most services that you're going to be doing, like start with that bucket and do that. So I'd probably start with that consulting services agreement.
Okay.
And hopefully that will work for, the bulk of your work with companies in that operations and um, efficiency space, whatever the title was you used for it.
Yeah.
And if you need any help finalizing it, let me know. I mean, obviously I can be hired for my time to help people customize these things if they need it, but I try to create it so that it's really flexible, meaning that it could look one way for a certain client and it could look a different way for another client, right? So like if you decided that one client you're going to work with for 6 months and it's going to look like this and you're going to meet so many times a month or whatever, that might be different than the next client who needs a full year of support and, a different meeting schedule or a different price point. And so you'll
Right.
see the way it's designed. It's designed to provide you with basically a base format document that you can revise and understand and change for each client so that it really is a working document that you can make fit any scenario.
Right. So let me ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
If I shouldn't say if, when, because I'm just, really starting this. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to get in front of somebody. I really would love somebody just let me in because
Yeah.
if I could, if I didn't have need for money, I'd go do this for free. That's how
Well, I know that means that that's the right area for you to be in, right?
So, so the question is, for like the first because I'm a little nervous about this. I'm not wasn't really nervous about working, one-on-one with people as far as
Mm,
legal perspective. I'm really
yeah. You're
as
just nervous about liability because you're working inside a big business.
you got a lot of players. You've got,
Mhm.
you don't, when you're working with one person, you kind of get to know that person.
Yeah.
Working with a business, you've got a lot of people around the corner who are
Yeah.
you're not really connecting with, but they certainly have impact on you and your relationship with that business, right?
Yeah.
They've, you know, so the question is, do you offer a service where, like, here's my first contract, here's what I'm thinking I'm offering, and here's what my expectations are, and is is the way I have this filled out, does it meet those needs?
Oh,
Right.
review that. Yeah, it would just be my hourly rate to review and provide feedback. So yeah, I can be hired for that kind of stuff. And hi, Paige, I want to welcome you. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So and the biggest thing I would say is making sure that whoever you're engaging in from the client side, right, that you've got the real decision maker and that you have a conversation with them about, look, like, you create the map. Here's how it works best. If you're going to work with me, here's what I need from you, right?
Right.
And you make it work based on what you know you need. And if they've got three primary decision makers that are going to influence the work that happens based on your direction, then you need all three of them in a meeting. If you've got right? So however you need to either build or establish the relationship off the bat, like, build that into your process, build that into your business policies. Like, you create the map. And if clients want to work with you, they follow the map.
Right. Right. Yeah, agreed. And that's exactly how I plan on. I've got things lined up where, there would be specific meetings with, key any key player needs to
Mm-hmm.
be involved in the initial
Mm-hmm.
decision and then the moving forward. So, okay.
Right. And then think of all of your touch points. Like, when you first, engage a client or they come across your website or whatever, the other thing I remind people is make sure your touch points are all consistent and they reinforce that message so that there's always client clarity, meaning that they first engage with your marketing language online or your educational piece of content or whatever. And then they engage in, one of your sales or marketing funnels, right? Make sure that you look at each of those touch points from the perspective of, is my language consistent? Am I using each of these touch points to educate my client and actually create the client that I want to work with? And then by the time they're in the enrollment conversation, again, you're using language that reinforces, like, here's how it's going to work. When we work together, ABC is going to happen, XYZ. And so by the time they're actually working with you, you have an educated client that is aware of how you work, aware of your processes. Maybe you have a meeting that says, look, I just want to review some policies with you. These are really designed to support the client and make this whole experience much better for you. I want to make sure that, all the decision makers involved are aware of how things are going to go. You know what I mean? You just educate, 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 educate. And then you use your contract as one more reinforcers of that, one more touch point that reinforces that language, reinforces your policies, helps to educate that client.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good advice, and certainly from working in service delivery for a lot of years, the clearer you make what the delivery is going to be, and the
Mm-hmm.
more you have clarity between the two of you, the more
That's
satisfied
right.
people will be.
That's right. No, I had a conversation just a couple of weeks ago with my friend Adam Petticord, who runs Customer Success by Design. He's
Mhm.
based here out of Washington, but we were talking about how to not let legal contracts get in the way of the deal, right? And what happens with companies is that they tend not to see the legal contracting process as another part that they should pay. Like, it's a little bit like they go along and they're so focused on the sale and the sales conversation, and then they just jam this legal contract in 11th hour, and it's not well related to the rest of their process, and it's not clear enough or cohesive enough. Like, they don't actually have, their legal person or their legal contract language embedded into their process in a way where it provides continuity for the client, if that makes sense. And that's where I see things go wrong and break down, is when contracts don't match what somebody thinks they're getting,
Right.
and they're not treated with the level of care that they need. People can just feel like this disjointed experience
Right.
around the actual enrollment,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. Okay.
Alrighty. Well, good luck. I'm excited for you. Who are
Thank-
your people? Who are your companies? Just so I know before.
My ideal client is a company that's probably 2 to 12 or $14 million as
Mm-hmm.
revenue. They're in service support, and it could be like it could be some limited manufacturing.
Okay.
So it could be service delivery, repairing. It also could be direct support. So like call centers, I've built call centers and
Got it. Got it. So how do you connect with them? What's worked in the past for you to connect with them?
well, that I'm just starting.
You're
So
just starting.
yeah, so I'm working a lot on LinkedIn, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really where my people are.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of I'm a member of several groups, so I'm just really engaging with people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also working on a quiz funnel.
Oh, nice. Okay. Awesome. Are you, I shouldn't be saying this because I haven't done it well yet myself. Are you using video at all on LinkedIn?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
If your
yet.
people are on LinkedIn, yeah, depending on how you set up your process, I think you could use video really well to support your communications and also to help educate your folks about like why you're the person that they should work with.
Right. And then I also just launched a podcast with Doug and
Oh,
Peter.
nice. Congratulations. That's so exciting. How is it going?
Well, again, it's all, everything's kind of in the starting gate,
The
right?
baby phase, totally.
Right. So I did opt into some additional training with them, and we changed the name.
Oh, okay. So what is it now?
It was the Productivity Podcast, and I'm
Yep.
actually going to keep it because I'm going to focus that one more on individual.
Oh, yeah.
And then the new one is Productivity to Profits,
Oh, excellent.
be specifically on efficiencies and ways that you can help grow your profits through
Got
productivity.
it. Very cool. So you're actually going to have 2 podcasts then.
I'm going to
Yeah.
keep the other one too.
Nice. Well, congrats. I'm excited for you, Nancy. Hello, Paige.
Hola,
How are you?
I'm very happy.
Good. Oh, I'm so glad. What's the
Yeah.
latest?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for having this opportunity
Yeah,
to ask
absolutely.
a legal question.
Absolutely.
So I have got all the pieces set up to run a webinar.
Mm-hmm.
Is it in my best interest to have, as part of my, when you go out to people to invite them to come and listen to this, is it necessary to have a disclaimer in there? Like at this point, do I need to cover my butt, or is it
When
not
you say,
until they
when you go out to
they say, yes, I want to listen to your click and I'll listen to your, now they get you registered. Thank you for being here. That email.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when I get my legal, just a little something in there, or
Well,
how legal?
yeah, no, yeah. No, great question. And so you're saying at this point, and how are you making the invites?
It'll just be through LinkedIn, Facebook, just
Mm-hmm.
a landing page
Mm-hmm.
that I'm putting out, and then through different groups that I'm in through LinkedIn and
Yeah.
Facebook, and through JVology and
Perfect. But they're all going to a landing page where they would register for the webinar.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So your disclaimer should be on your landing page.
Okay, and is that in my printed printed words in the bottom, somewhere, just a paragraph?
So, and really quick, tell me, because you're providing a webinar, right? Is it on the topic that you coach about?
I assist families
Mm-hmm.
that want to tear down the wall and start engaging with their loved one that is suffering with depression.
And so the
I'm
disclaimer
working with the families.
Right. The disclaimer would be, though, still that it's not professional therapy, right? That it's not medical advice. Is this what you're thinking?
Yeah, I want it to be very clear that I'm an intuitive, innate healer, and those, I'm not going to give you prescriptions or
Right.
medical advice. I'm not a medical professional. I'm
Yeah.
a highly trained intuitive healer.
Yeah. So you'd want that disclaimer fairly near to the point that somebody could enroll, right? Meaning that typically, especially for people that have any concerns about whether or not somebody's going to see the disclaimer, often having it buried down in the footer link, like as its own little link, is not enough because people
Okay.
often don't go looking for that language, right? Sometimes they do, and it's good to also have your website documents and your disclaimers in a footer link, especially if you are doing business to business, like earnings disclaimer, earnings and income disclaimer, or health related stuff like this. So, but ideally, I'd want to see a disclaimer that, is like a short version of the disclaimer right below where somebody can enroll in anything. You
Okay.
want them at the door to understand before they walk in the door what they're getting and what they're not getting.
Okay. Okay.
So
that makes sense.
you would just have it on the landing page. You don't need to include it in your social media copy or in your invite copy or any of that. If somebody clicks through, you want them to have the opportunity to see it, generally probably right below the subscribe button, right? It doesn't
Okay.
need to be above, but close enough that they don't have to go hunting for it.
Okay.
Okay. Good question.
Yeah, then that's okay. Yes.
You don't want it buried. The thing you don't want to do is put it in teeny tiny print and put it all the way to the, there's case law around that being too difficult for people to read, or if they have to go hunting for it, then it's
Right.
You basically haven't achieved the issue in law is whether you've achieved constructive notice.
Yeah, and I think by putting it right by the click button and it's right
below
there,
exactly.
That gets rid of for the most part, any question.
Yes.
Oh, is she a doctor or not?
Right. Right.
Like, no.
Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm just going to sprinkle you with love.
Good. We all need more of that.
Yes. So, and I also should probably have a consult with you on what kind of packaging I should get with you, because I'm thinking I need to switch over.
That's right. You were with Legal Shield, is that right?
Yeah. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong.
Oh, no.
There isn't anything wrong.
I've totally referred people to Legal Shield before.
However, I felt pulled more towards you than I did them. And so that's...
No, I'd be happy to chat with you. I mean, Nancy just went through, she got the website protection package and the JV ready and affiliate upgrade. She still has to go through the recording of it, but I've got several ways, and I've tried to make it really, really accessible, especially during COVID, for people to be able to get their online businesses all put together legally.
Yeah. And just so you know, Nancy, I'm Canadian. I'm in Canada. So, but my program can go anywhere in the world.
Right.
And I just want to make sure that I'm covered, at least for North America.
Yeah. Well, and truthfully, even for people that are not targeting residents of the EU, if they can opt into your database and get inside your system, which they can mine, I don't exclude anybody based on geographic location, right? So the reality is, and I just teach to the most restrictive privacy law, right? So the GDPR is more restrictive than most countries' laws. Other countries are trending that way, but I teach towards that as the standard, because I believe that it's good business for us all to be respectful of privacy issues and other people's data. Yeah. So if you run your business basically to the most restrictive standard and you treat everybody in your system the same, right? I just think you're going to have a happier business and happier clients. So that's my approach, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in France, whether you're anywhere. And that's not saying that, there aren't other geographic specific laws that you might have to be aware of, because everybody has to be aware of laws that apply where they're based, right?
Yes.
But for online international business, the landscape is very different than, for example, a traditional brick and mortar business based in Seattle that only serves Seattle. Yes. Right. So I help a lot of businesses in that space.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, I've got quite a bit of traction in my online to other parts of the world because I've
Mhm.
participated in some of Alina Vincent's stuff,
Right.
and she's
In
all
the
over the
groups.
world. And
Yes.
so I have quite a following in Australia
Yep.
and in England. Like,
A lot of in the personal development, online business coaching world, like the space where many of us live, the biggest consumers of these programs and products tend to be UK, Australia, Canada, US, right? So
mhm,
you often see overlaps in those audiences.
yeah. So, yeah. So maybe at some point we can set our
Totally.
calendars up.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Why don't I, can I pop my email for you? You maybe already have it, but if not, it's just info@legalwebsitewarrior. Let me take out the double I's.com. If you will email me there, my VA, Christina, can help get you on my calendar. I would give you my link, but it's going to book you like 3 weeks out. And that may not be helpful. So she tries to wiggle people in between the cracks if they need to connect before then.
okay.
So that'd be great. She can help get us coordinated. But yeah, I'd be
And
happy
what's
to
her
chat
name?
with.
Does
Her
she
name
show
is
up?
Christina.
So will I be working with her? Like,
No, she just will help you get on my calendar. So if you
okay.
email me at info@legalwebsitewarrior.com and say, hey, there's a reminder, I want to get on your calendar, she will help handle that.
Okay, beautiful.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that was the purpose of coming on today.
Oh, good. Well, I'm so glad to connect with you again. I was listening to your episode on James's podcast the other night. I stayed up really
Oh,
late working. I listened to like 3 in a row. It was fun.
he's really good at interviewing.
Yes, he is
Yeah.
good at interviewing. He's
Yeah.
fun and dynamic and he asks interesting questions, but he's got a
Yeah.
great sense of humor, which makes it really nice.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Fun.
I'm excited to continue building.
Yeah,
And
good.
Nancy, you're part of the JVology also?
Awesome. Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
What else is coming next for you, Paige? What can I be aware of for you?
Well, out of my webinar, I'm offering them to work with me in a 2-day.
Oh, got it.
And
Like a 2-day intensive?
yeah. And
Okay.
it's called Peaceful Interactions Program.
Peaceful interactions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, I know before I start with them, they have to sign a disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I want to have this conversation with you, because I have a disclaimer and I want to make sure that it's saying what I need to say.
Yeah,
And
totally.
because I do have the disclaimer, but
Well, and you may benefit.
And if there's a difference between if I'm live in front of them standing face to face, or if it's just online, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Totally. The disclaimer is a key part of it. And likely my guess is that you need more than that because it's a client, basically, coaching, for lack of a better word, relationship. So actually, Nancy and I were just having this discussion, but you could benefit probably from my standard coaching agreement, which is a one-on-one client services agreement.
Well, it's going to be in group. Is it the same thing?
Going to be in group. You can use it in different ways. So you can use that coaching services agreement tailored to a group program or one-on-one. And basically what it means is that the body of the agreement that covers all the legal stuff happens up top. And then you have an addenda that allows you to identify how the services get delivered. And you'll see that it's really flexibly built, meaning that could be delivered entirely over the phone. It could be delivered via a workshop. It could be delivered one-on-one. It could be delivered via a group program. You get to take out the parts of the addenda that don't fit for that particular client and modify it so that it fits. And you also, you might work differently with certain clients. Maybe certain clients you're doing a group offering for, and it's all going to be group coaching. Maybe you've got a client that wants 6 months or 12 months of support, and so the coaching services agreement's really designed to give you a lot of flexibility in how you deliver, while also covering you for all the main legal stuff involved in the delivery itself.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. So happy to chat further. Just grab a spot on my calendar and we'll figure it out.
Okay, I will do that.
Awesome. Good. Well, it's nice to see both you ladies today. Nancy, did you have any other questions?
Oh, I don't. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great to see you. I love your backdrop, by the way.
Yeah.
So I have a picture standing on the other side of the bridge, but same view, looking towards, what is that, Marin County on the other side. It's such a cool, I mean, that park area up around the one end of the Golden Gate Bridge is so cool.
Yeah.
So pretty. Yeah. Well, good to see you.
Yeah. Take care.
Yep. Take care. Paige, great to see you. Thanks for popping on. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Hey, bye-bye. Stay
Bye.
safe.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.